but now I make you nothing but a memory. I take a step back so I can move on. Been on the wrong track, you're not the one. No, I take a step back so I can move on.
The combo, it hits again. Kevy, he's done it one more time.
The Chaos Storm! Claire jumps in with the Grand Slam! But in a three-man Moonfall, and it's just lights out for Direwolves, just like that.
The showstopper. Look at the backline. It's getting melted.
Something right now, Sonic Wave is there, it's getting low and low. Oh! They've stolen it! Mammoth have got the Baron! It's gonna fall on down, it's just too much damage! Rest in peace!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the first Wednesday of the first damn Super Week. It's Hump Day. We're halfway through the week, which is a glorious thing in itself. But of course, we're here with you to get you through it, get you through the hard second half. It's all downhill from here, baby. And it is, of course, going to be the third day of games for this week on the LCO. We've got to bang a couple of games coming up and a lot of good content. Or so I've been told, but we're not allowed to know about it yet. So I guess you'll find out when we do. But look, let's look back at what happened yesterday before we get on into all of today's fun.
Top of eating shot glass gets negated, also so much value, as now it's Lisa trying to shine and go pressing guard immune. They jump in, they take out Tron the Pond, they will finally remove Mayfarn. Now no jungle smite. Still hunting for kills, though. Zappy flashes forward and hits the binding. Can't cycle through the cooldown much more. The dragon is secured as Peace find free. Kanga's position, no setting up a flank. Really single angle, they come together to headbutt off the second charge from that Red Herald. Opening up the base, but Chungy jumps in. He gets made unstoppable because he's up in the air and he's down, crashing down. It's a broken roller coaster and he's not having fun with it. 3 members.
Oh, all right, here comes the ult.
Doesn't need play-by-play. You just watch it. It's cinematic.
Yeah, constantly look at this Tristana. If he's able to free hit.
Order going in. They want to end this game right now. 59 minutes on the clock. They need to try and make something absolutely happen. Chiefs go in. Sapoon gets exhausted on the flank. We're going to try to assassinate out Puma. Who's gone? He gets crit. He's onto a second target. Onslaught Scorpion flashing forward onto Kisei and takes him out of the game. Another shutdown raid is unleashed.
Oh, that order in Chiefs game. I'm still sweating from it. That was so damn good. Now, hopefully we get something like that today. And we're not going to have something like yesterday in terms of the casters because Rusty's gone. And guess who's back? She didn't have enough. Kitty is joining us yet again on the desk. Color caster Kitty leveling up for the second day. How you going?
I've imposted my way in onto the casting desk and yeah, don't vote me out, please.
Well, look, I guess we'll see if that happens, later on. Skimmy, how you feeling today? Very ambitious, going for the long arms like myself.
Yeah, why not? I'm underneath AC, so I thought, we get the style points out nice and early, hey.
Beautiful. Well, I'm not. I'm just chilling in 30-degree heat. But look, at least we look good, right? Until we start shining. Now, let's have a look at the standings. There were some crazy, crazy games yesterday. And we'll see where everyone ended up going into day 3 of the first Super Week. Peace at the top there, joining Chiefs. Well, I guess Chiefs joining Peace. Peace did cop that L and Chiefs get the dub. So all of a sudden we're tied up at the top again. Pentanet, 5-3, looking to catch on up. Order not too far behind them. And then we do have Direwolves and Mammoth tied for 5th. So that's all the teams that are currently sitting there in contention for the playoffs. But there's still a lot of games to go before then. Kanga starting to show some fine form into this week. We'll see if they're going to be able to back it up again. And Gravitas still hunting for that second dub. Kitty, anything crazy here you want to talk about?
Well, I'm just excited for tonight's games, to be honest. Look, I am waiting for that Peace versus PGG match because I think that's going to do something to the power rankings. It's going to absolutely mess it up.
Well, look, fortunately for you, that game is today, at the end of today. So we'll have to keep you waiting at least another 4 hours or so before we get to PGG and Peace. But kicking things off, we got Chiefs, we got Mammoth. It's going to be a little bit spicy, especially if Mammoth can pull out some kind of chemistry goodness. 7 PM, you got Gravitas and Order going head-to-head. Not too sure if Gravitas are going to be able to put up a fight after what we saw from Order yesterday, but I'm always happy to be proven wrong. 8 p.m. Kanga and Direwolves. I feel like this could be one of those games of the day where it may actually end up being the closer one, depending on how this last game goes, right, Skimmy?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I feel like both those teams right now have shown that they are digging deep, trying different stuff out. And for Kanga especially, they've had to try and rally behind and find some wins. The most upsetting of them all was to get that win against Peace, right? So you're really hoping that's put some wind in their sails to give them a degree of momentum to continue to showcase that there was a reason that they were hyped up. And these two teams in particular were the ones that we were jostling and jiving for who would take that 5th and final playoff spot. So having seen Kanga win it last time, you're wondering if they can do it again.
It's an interesting position to be in, right? Look, Direwolves want the dub, which would solidify that 5th position up above Mammoth, or at least on paper, depends on how that order grab game goes. So, many different combinations of outcomes from today as per most days. Anything you want to touch on here, Kitty? Of course, you did mention you were excited for that final game of the day.
What are these, it's Wolf versus Kangaroo. Who do you think's going to win, Mac?
Oh, well, I know which one's
Battle
faster.
for Wild.
It's definitely a Roo. But, right, when it comes to, the animal kingdom, I may not be the best expert because, of course, I'm an expert in, dragons not existing. That is all I really had the other day, but when it comes to wolves and kangaroos, I kind of don't actually know which way that one's going to go. But look, let's talk about some things that did happen yesterday. A few more champs getting picked up. We saw Nasus, of all things, picked. A bit of Wukong sneaking in. So what are we going to expect? Like more of that today, or is that sort of just like a one-off, Kitty?
Well, we're definitely going to be seeing more of that Riven. I am waiting for Tien to get his redemption arc on that Riven. He has to perform on it. And we're probably going to be seeing more of that Ahri because we do have a very spicy mid matchup going into today. Hudge, Kyosei, and Chungi. But talking about the other picks, I think it's just going to be a one-off thing. Maybe once in the future, but yeah. Yeah,
I did enjoy watching Zeri, flexed up to top. I guess we've seen a lot of it over towards ADC, but we know that can be played at mid as well, right? So if you are going for it as that first pick, then, the opponent has to try to figure out where that's going, and it allows the opportunity for the draft just to be that much more interesting, right?
Yeah, given that we've just got so many handshakes when it comes to these AD carries, you're either seeing teams go out of their way to target particular players or just say, we're not sure really what we want, so let's remove as many lethal tempo AD carries as possible. And then, you're on blue side, you pick up one, we'll respond in a second fashion. And then it's all about looking to try and get the counter picks in mid and top in those 4th and 5th final picks. So really cool to see that, once again, we got more champions. Maybe it's not cool to see for coaches because they've got to try and figure out, okay, what kind of conundrum's going on here, right? But at least for a viewer standpoint, all the flexibility once again.
Well, look, some coaches may have issues with that, but of course, Draft Lord exists, and he exists for a reason.
Right.
Maybe that is why we are seeing a lot of success coming through from Peace. Who knows? Maybe the secret to their success. Now, let's start to talk about Hullbreaker. We got to see a little bit of play with it yesterday, Kitty, and there's a lot of stats here. I believe Rusty wanted to chat about it, but unfortunately, he couldn't be here. So, you guys, here's the ropes.
Well, I'll be your substitute Rusty for today. We saw Hullbreaker was quite the popular item from yesterday. We saw it on the Nasus, we saw it on the Tryndamere. So what's been changed is that I believe it scales with levels, but it starts off with giving you plus 20 armor and 20 arc. As you level it, I think the max is 60, I believe. So when you're alone, you gain that armor and magic resist, and you have fire damage to towers. And yeah, buff cannon minions. I didn't even know that was a thing until today, so thank you, LCO. I'm learning.
There you go. So, maybe that won't work too well if you're playing support, but if you do get filled, you said you hated it, but now you've got an item which has some really good efficiency, so why not? Why not, right, Skimmy?
Yeah, there's a few talking points, obviously, to, break it down a little bit further. Obviously, the main one there is what Rusty mentioned on the cast last night, right? Cheap item spike, 2,800 gold. Majority of those mythic and legendary items going to be around, 3,100, 3,300. So if you can rush that nice and early, you just get infinite value. We saw it being played into those AP champions like the Blind Gragas, for example. And they just suffer because they just want to scale with the tier. Now they can't even go for the grasp stacks, and life is a bit of a living hell for them. I guess this, the surefire indicator now, especially with the changes on this patch in particular, 12.3, is it builds from Phage. Phage is a fantastic item for those bruisers looking to try and siege and skirmish nice and early on. It's a pretty surefire bet that they're going to go into the Hullbreaker, because the only other item now that builds from the Phage is the Sterix Gauge, and that got a big nerf. So You're never going to see anybody rush that as the first item.
Okay.
In terms of sort of like the success rate, it is a positive win rate. The only times we've not ever seen it purchased in the top lane, 2 times on a Jace. You're not going to really see it on a Jace. We saw obviously top lane Zeri, not going to see it there either. But it does open a door. Once again, I'm still hoping we're going to get the likes of Furors, we're going to get the Jaxes, we're going to get to see more of these Bruises, more skill expression. I know we're putting all this emphasis towards bot lane, and it's a battle of like who has the better bot laner in the region, but I would like to see potentially just a shift, even if it's just for one patch only, back to those strong side, carry-centric top lane carries.
Well, let's see if that happens as time goes on. Speaking of time, we've got to move forward, of course, and fortunately, production, they've got something secret for us, so let's have a look at what it is.
Is today the day
that's
That's us, hey, yeah.
then you must play the game, 'cause I have to proclaim
But
life's a
hopefully,
game
you know,
of
he can get involved in Twitch chat. We can see how right he is later
Sure.
on. But I guess hindsight's 20/20, so no matter what he says,
Oh
what it
no,
is.
not this again. Are
Right.
we guessing skills?
so that's Wukong. Can I have a point for that?
We get so exposed to this. Passive, I want to say it's Stone Skin. Is that right?
Okay.
Yes.
Stone hand, bro. That's
Skimmy
stone
knows.
hand.
Skimmy
Okay,
knows.
okay.
I'll take note. I'll put points here.
I know his ultimate is Cyclone, and now I'm having to dig deep.
Yes. Cyclone. Oh, actually,
You're gonna have to carry us,
I
Skimmy.
probably would have called it Whirlwind. He's got all the
Yes.
clones. I know it's not
Smacks
going to be
your
called
head.
clone,
What's
right?
the smack of the head called? All I have in my head right now is bamboo stick, but that's completely wrong.
Big whack.
The big whacker.
The big whacker. Oh, does that help at all?
Wukong Q. Yes, that's the name.
Got Colossal Strike,
you.
but that's Scion, so it's not that. Clone. His W's is clone.
I think
This
that,
is where,
I
this is
think
where
that
we get so
sound-
exposed. Look, this is the life of a play-by-play. I just had to describe it to you, and I can get away with things, right? The analysts have to hit you with the, yeah, well, actually, in patch 12.1, it's Cyclone.
Crushing blow. There you go. So none of us got it. But look, we'll move on. What about the E? Is E the one where it
It's the
dashes?
clone.
It's
It's
the
the
gap
clone.
close, right? Oh, it's the clone and the
W,
dash?
W's to clone. E's your dash.
Oh no, I've been exposed. Okay, well,
Support players.
I've never played Wukong in my life.
Oh,
What's his W called, man?
The shield. Oh no, it's the
mystic duplication.
Juxtaposition.
Negative. That's not what it is.
Big words.
Crushing blow, cyclone. They're all pretty basic, like, names.
Yeah. And note, quick
Twin
eye
dash.
check. We're not looking at Sakamoto's. We don't have, wikis open. This isn't entertainment. It's pure pain.
Dash clone. Warrior
Warrior
Trickster. Well, that was a little
Trickster.
bit harder. So
Ooh.
no points there for anyone. Well, and we do, of course, have the
Wind dash.
dash.
Wind blow.
1,000 fists.
No.
I don't know. I just see a bunch of different fists.
yeah.
there, you know?
has to, it
Martial
has to have
artist.
the word clone in it, right?
It starts with N,
N.
and it has 2
Nimbus
words.
cloak. We're talking about runes now. We're talking about runes.
That was close.
Cloak?
Nimbus fist.
Wind cloak? No. Dash cloak? No. I don't even know. Wait,
Dashing
Nimbus.
Nimbus.
Nimbus cloud. Nimbus cloud?
Nimbus. That sounds really close.
No.
Nimbus
I'm
clouds from Dragon Ball Z. That's
Yeah.
you know?
Same thing.
Isn't it? It's something Nimbus.
Oh, no. I don't know. Phone a friend?
Second word starts with S, so it's Nimbus. S
Are you sure
word.
it's Nimbus?
Nimbus
No,
strike.
I'm definitely not. Nimbus strike.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to give you a quarter of a point, which looks really weird and is probably looking like a half on
thank you.
paper. There we go. Congratulations, Skimmy, who did everything.
Congrats, Skimmy.
Love Wukong. What a champion.
And Rusty, I'm going to check, because that was going for a
I'm
while.
keen to see where does Rusty go with this one?
Are
Hey?
we naming abilities? He didn't pick up on anything. Someone said Q is the bonk. So
I can see
we'll
Twitch
go,
not
we'll
catching
go with
up
that.
now, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Q bonk. No one actually got it before you got it, Skimmy. So you get all of the... Yeah, you got just as many points. Twitch chat doesn't know it, and they could literally Google it. So
They could, that's
congratulations to you, because you got everything, Skimmy.
Wait, do we have another one? Are we running it back?
I do not think we have another one. but
let's run
we
it back.
can. And
Surely.
we got time. Screw it.
Surely.
Let's do another one.
Look,
All right.
Look how quick Monday and Tuesday were. Surely.
Yeah, let's push the days out just in case we have some quick games, of course.
Oh,
Vega.
no.
Oh, no.
Something cage. Big cage. Ability stealer. Strong, powerful bolts of energy.
Event Horizon, that's his W. No, that's his,
Nice.
that's
No,
his
that
E.
is-
That's his E, right?
This is E.
His cage, yep.
That's the one that comes from the sky, right?
No, it's
W.
his cage, his ring.
It's the-
Oh, that's the cage. Okay.
Mm.
I want to say Primordial Strike, is that right? No. Yes? No.
Ooh, close.
Strike?
Very close. The
Oh,
first
prim-
word's right. Okay.
Primordial
So,
Blast?
primordial something?
Primordial.
Oh, Primordial
Burst.
Burst.
Ooh.
Oh, I was halfway there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you half a point there. There you go. That's,
Ah.
not terrible. All right, so we got the one that is like the bang on the ground, and
Got
then
the W and the Q
shooty-
and the
shooty
passive.
Q. Oh, and the passive, true.
Yeah.
His passive is like getting power from killing minions, right?
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Whenever
Wait, is
he
it
hits
killing the
his
minions
skill
or is
shots.
it hitting with his Q?
He gets like a killing blow, he gets stacks.
That looks familiar. It's
That's
probably because I've played
Ah.
Vega before, maybe. I had a word right, and I've said lots of them, so I don't know
Which one
it
was
is.
it?
Probably-
Oh, no.
Power.
Power. Power of Evil. Wait, is that a player?
3 words.
Was it
Power
Power
of
of
Evil?
Evil. Power of Evil.
Evil's
Evil's in it too.
Also in it,
Uh,
building evil power.
stacking evil power.
Starts with P. The 3 words, P, evil
Powerful
power.
evil power.
Powerful evil power. Penetrating evil power. Well, I think we ran out of time. PH.
Phenomenal evil power.
Oh!
Oh, okay.
there
Well,
we go.
I said it. But
You said it as it was coming up. I'm going to give you a point for that, Kitty.
Oh, thank you, thank you,
got
thank
it.
you, thank
You
you.
got it.
Okay,
Beautiful.
Okay.
Now, we do, of course, have the 2 other abilities. I'm sure everyone in Twitch chat's actually Googling it this time, unless
Oh.
they're not cheating, which would be great. Thank you. So it's a ball.
That's his Q, right?
Yeah.
Really has power in it.
Shot, ball, strike, B then S.
It's an S.
Bursting strike,
Baleful strike?
Burst.
baleful strike.
Yes.
Hey, I don't even know what baleful means, but that's great. Good job, Skimmy. Congratulations. And then comet, astral comet, bloody meteor. Oh, D then M, and I'm pretty sure it's M is meteor, right? So it's not. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I
It's just
thought it was.
production, like, no.
Disastrous meteor.
Well, it's not meteor.
Destructive mind.
Destructive.
Ooh, destructive.
No,
No, not destructive.
no,
Okay.
no,
Well,
no.
we're trying really hard here. Look, 3. How many brains does it take to work out however many words are on the screen here?
Dark matter.
Dark matter. That would be it.
Oh.
Congrats. We only needed at least a bazillion hints, but Skimmy, you got extra points. I'll give you an extra 2
You know what's
points.
funny? I look
for,
at Twitch right
not
now,
getting
and
hints.
instantly Tallywhack is just straight in there, just like bang, 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 bang. This is what
Is
it
he?
is. And
Oh,
it's
he
like,
is
well,
too.
of course you would know, mate. You just smurfed on it last night.
Bloody Tally. Look, Tally, I'll put you here too. You get 4 points. You're still behind
4
Skimmy. You're still behind Skimmy, but good job, good job. So you guys can play along too and keep your own stats and then send those in from the fans. Why not, right? Because then we can
Yeah.
see how you're doing. You can give yourself 100 points and then I'll just tell you you're a damn liar because there's not that many points yet. Anyway, from the fans, we don't have content yet. I put out a public service announcement solely to you guys because we didn't have content from the fans. Fortunately, it allowed us to play 2 quizzes, so that's fine. At LCO, hashtag LCO on the Twitter sphere, and send in your memes, send in your good stuff, and we'll put it up during the show. But of course, That's all the fun. No more fun. It's all seriousness now. We get to talk about the teams, talk about the games. We got Mammoths, we got Chiefs. Let's get on into the action. But let's talk Mammoth first, right? So they've had a decent amount of success. And going into the second round of games, they're looking to find a few more Ws. But up against the Chiefs, it's going to be very difficult for them, Kitty.
Yep, we definitely saw an amazing performance from Peace. Although a bit wonky from the start, they did manage to close out the game with Chan on that Lucian. We saw Refury pick, I believe, was a... I'm having a brain fart. It's okay, because I remember what Voice and Rocco played because it was a Yuumi and Zeri.
Yeah, it was the first time we got to see a bit of Yuumi and Zeri, and
they
it
lost.
wasn't successful.
They lost,
So,
but that's okay.
interesting that. Now, Skimmy, you want to talk to me about Chiefs? Tell me how they're going to win today, where they're going to win it from. Is it gaps in every lane? Tell me.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. I think for Tapoon, date your mind back to when they last versed each other. Tapoon pushes in the wave top side, roams through mid, picks up the first blood, and to add insult to injury, then rotates back to top lane, not before a slight detour at the petrol station, aka enemy blue buff, and steals that away as well. So Tapoon, the man, the myth, the legend, will be looking to try and replicate that again, but Mammoth, no doubt, he's living rent-free in their minds.
I'm sure that it's going to be a fun day at the park. However, look, Ray's had the most cracking game I've seen from him yesterday, so I would not be surprised if Mammoth could do nothing to stop him. Although, I guess if anyone's going to do it, it's Voice, right? He's been having very good performances down in that bot lane. Rocco, very good support for him, but I feel like Voice is just like shining that little bit more. So going up against Raze, they're going to have a big battle ahead of him. Tally, of course, you know, he's had a couple of shaky games, but for the most part, playing perfectly. Tapoon, really can't fault him. I believe, is this the game where Tapoon got that blue buff steal and the game was won? Yeah, okay, so Mammoth looking to get a bit of revenge for that.
Absolutely. I mean, what's most interesting for me, Mac, is, you know, a full round robin has gone by, and you sort of look at the stats, and I think you still would argue that Chiefs have been the most consistent across the board. Like their stats have been phenomenal. But one stat that actually really stood out to me is the gold difference that these teams both have at 15 minutes. Chiefs are up by 2,600 gold, but then Mammoth are down by 2,600 gold, so it's literally opposites attract.
Yeah, right. Well, that's an interesting stat. But what I need to point out as well is this is the game where we first saw that trend in mid as well, I believe. And then Refury started playing it the day after, and we're like, oh, well, let's see if it works. And that's when it started working for Mammoth, when they started to just play comfort picks, doing what was working. You know, they tried to play the Corki in that game, but it didn't quite work out. So we'll see if the draft, of course, is going to be different and how it's going to be different, because we're on a new patch now, right?
Yeah. What I will say is that Mammoth have actually had a really tough schedule. So this entire week, they've been up against all the favorites. So they start the week up against Order, they then go up against Peace, now against Chiefs, and then to kickstart week 5, they're going to go up against Pentanet. So it really is like the belly of the beast. Like, test your mental, see how you fare. Can you get another upset? Because if you can, in what is the most jam-packed week, then you've done a phenomenal job.
And look, let's have a highlight of that mid lane, of course. We got Tally, we got Refury, both of which are some of the stronger players in their teams and doing a whole lot of the shot calling too. So we'll see where it goes. Champ pool's looking relatively similar for what they've played so far here in the LCO. Only difference, of course, is the Veigar and the Galio. Now, Kitty, tell me, what do these numbers mean? Who's better at what, etc.?
So we've always known Tally as that facilitator mid laner, where he has the KD of 226, while Refury, he's been known as the carry of Mammoth. He has a 4-3 KDA. Looking at the KP, obviously Refury is more into the what's the word I'm thinking of?
More into the action.
More into the action, indeed. He is always head first into those fights because he plays a lot of those melee champions. But something I wanted to bring up is that they have 2 consistent champions in their pool. It's the Corki and the Trinimir, really popular picks for last patch. But going into this patch, we saw Tally pick Veigar, blind pick, and we saw Refury pick a lot of Zed and Yasuo. And I'm just comparing these 2 players. Tally's been more of an early game facilitator where he just scales to the late game, giving Chiefs that security. But Fury, on the other hand, he's more like a solo queue superstar where the champion pool is just Zed, Yasuo, Yone. It's just all over the place, but he has managed to carry on the majority of those champions.
Yeah.
And, you know, Fury did mention in an interview that he was a Veigar enthusiast, and we have yet to see him pick Veigar.
You can almost like copy paste those most picked, because that's what it should really look like at this stage, right? So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, given that Tally has played Veigar in the last 2 games, if that's going to be a contested pick, at least even banned.
Well, we'll figure that one out shortly, but of course we have some players to chat to, some players being one man. Of course, it's the big man in the top lane coming through for Mammoth. It is Tron. Mate, I've got a couple of questions for you, but first off, how you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
I had a lot of wins queue in solo queue, so I'm feeling good going into the game, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go. So all smiles over there. Now, first thing I wanted to ask you about is, over the 8 games you've played so far, you've played 7 different champions. Is this because you're coming in with a pre-planned draft, trying to change it up, or do you guys just go with your draft on the fly?
It really does change from game to game. We do kind of have a plan when we go into it, but when the enemy does something strange with their draft, we kind of have to adapt as best as we can.
Okay, fair enough. Now, how deep does that champ pool go for you personally?
Well, a lot of people in the past knew me as like just a tank player, and like I do still really enjoy tanks, but I've definitely tried to broaden my horizons for this split, and I'm just hoping to keep doing that.
Okay, well, so far so good. So no complaints from me. Now, give me the origin of your name. I want to know, was just Tron taken when you made it?
No, the origin of my name is like, my name is Tom, right? And so a lot of people call me Tom the Pom, but Tom the Pom was taken. And so we're just like, oh, we'll just take Tron. That's similar. And so that's just where it came from.
There you go. And so not a fan of the movie Tron or anything, right?
I've never seen it, actually. So
Wow. All right, now you've made me feel more like a boomer than I already am, so thanks for that. Now, it's International Flirting Week, as I'm sure you're well aware. Are you ever kind? Are you the kind to ever give compliments to your teammates?
of course, my teammates deserve all the compliments in the world. Nothing less.
Beautiful. Now, I know you love to play hard to get into the top lanes, so good luck with the game today, and see you in the Rift.
Cheers.
Beautiful words coming out from the big man, so confident as ever. Happy going into the game, had a couple of dubs in solo queue, and that's always going to get the juices flowing, right?
I think really, once the games are done tonight, going into your break after Super Week, he needs to actually load up the old Tron movie, get himself really immersed in the namesake of who he is, his foundations, his origin stories. There's a content piece right there.
Look, we got to talk predictions. We've got to get towards the game because we don't have a huge amount of time remaining. So let's have a look. Let's see where everyone's gone. Let's roast Rusty because he's not here, because he's gone, damn, all right, production actually put his real prediction in. I'm kind of sad that that happened, but understandably. And no surprises in the predictions because I'm the only one going for the underdog, whereas the other 3, it's still you guys. Tell me why Chiefs are going to win, Kitty.
So I actually didn't mention this earlier. So when Skimmy brought up that Mammoth have this hardest super week any team has, it's got literally a super week of hell. They have 4 really strong teams.
Yep.
I was going to mention that, you know, Mammoth's Ray of Light, because they are going into this game as the underdogs, I think their Ray of Light is going to be something more spicy, you know, bring back the PGG where you lock in the Nocturne Fiddlesticks combo, you turn the lights out and Fiddlesticks just, you know, scares everyone. But I'm waiting for one of those potential drafts. But going into tonight, I'm pretty sure Chiefs are just gonna take the cake.
Well, I am probably on the same page there, but my prediction still seems to be going for Mammoth. So I want to see what they're capable of. Look, at least Tron's happy going into the game. You better believe that Refury's happy. I don't think I've ever seen this man look sad, even when they're losing. He's just got that big, crazy smile on his face, and he's always waving at cameras. I don't know. Has he got a problem? Maybe. But look, it's a good problem to have. If you just wave at every camera you ever see, I'm sure you're just going to make a bunch of friends, and that's probably a good problem to have, right, Skimmy?
It is, yeah, absolutely. Positivity breeds more positivity. You know, you're a product of your environment, and you hear it from every single player on the side of Mammoth, right? They're always giving compliments, always having a good laugh.
Yeah.
Must be such a good time. So, yeah, rally around it.
Now, something I want to bring up too, if Chiefs win this game, we're going to be getting that post-match interview. Yesterday, Kitty, you had every Chiefs member just jumping around in the background, and you didn't comment on it, and you didn't yell at Tally for typing loud. Like, we gotta. I'll show you today. If Chiefs win, I'm just gonna start yelling at all the players. It's your time as the interviewer to shine. It's also almost your time to shine in the color cast. Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready. But Mac, you know, I actually didn't realize there were like 3 people just cheering Raze on in the back. I was just so zoned out, but I realized halfway through a sentence, so hopefully we get to see those boys in the back again for tonight.
Yeah, it's like, it's part of the house, right? They just have that extra morale. If things are going wrong, you're next to them, right? So there's less of a chance of there being that frustration.
You can hear Tally type all the time. It's just the clunky noises all the time.
Oh, you just imagine there's 5 mechanical keyboards just going absolutely off in a team fight. You know, you've all strapped in with your noise cancelling headphones. You're strapped in.
Well, how, in terms of like APM for league at a professional level, it's not nuts, right? You're just using your F keys to sort of like scout around.
Although
like,
saying that, like, have you ever watched like Faker's point of view?
The F keys?
Not his hand POV.
He is spamming those function keys. Like, it's literally jarring to your eyes. If you're not used to that, he is... Oh, hang on there. We just lost Kitty. Kitty needs to cool down.
You're too damn hot, all right? Come on.
Yeah, Faker's is like, he's darting all over the map, constantly checking in where things are going, and it'll give you a headache really quickly. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately,
too hot to handle, I guess.
Too hot to handle. And look, the draft might be pretty hot too. So let's jump on in and have a look for game number 1 of the day.
Yes, thus we jump into the draft, and what is this going to be a single of me? Hello, how are you? I've got the voice of Kitty, I hope, still in the background as we jump into this one, as it's going to be that rematch in the second round robin with Mammoth taking on Chiefs. You already mentioned a few picks you'd be quite excited for here, Kitty. What stands out most to you? Is it going to be the continued Mammoth solo queue style? I can hear you.
The champ select, so I can only see you.
Oh, but that's fantastic.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see it now. So we have the Chiefs cameras, but that's okay. We see the Aphelios first pick from the Chiefs. Jinx is still open, I believe. And with Viego being picked away from Arthur with the Nautilus, they actually haven't chosen ADC. So that's going to be a kill-heavy lane for Mammoth. Obviously, Tally has been quite the menace on that Veigar, so he's going to be picking it again. With that CC for those team fights is just too valuable to lose. And we're going to see Draku playing Tahm Kench. He's been spamming quite a bit of Tahm Kench in solo queue, you know, with that buff coming into the new patch.
Yep.
You can always eat the ADC away from the threats of the Nautilus and Viego. We're going to see Cassidy coming into today. So we actually saw when you pick Veigar, most teams actually prefer to ban the Cassidy because once Cassidy hits 6, this Veigar cannot play the game. It's going to be way too hard, and this Cassidy just outscales you unless this Cassidy decides to build not a stopwatch, so you can, it's just who ults faster from the Veigar. We're gonna see Lee Sin banned. Lee Sin is a very strong jungler to facilitate that Veigar, and we're gonna see Gwen gone. Gwen is just still really broken. She is immune to the nerfs, I suppose.
A lot of information there, Kenny, right? A lot of information to digest.
I'll make it up.
We're just blitzing through this draft. I think it's kind of exciting, right? As you highlight with the Castle unlock and the fact that there was some pre-planning here for Mammoth. You know, Refury's still not keen, you'd imagine, at least from what we're seeing here, to play that Veigar, despite his reputation, that they'll allow Tally to have it and say, well, I know it better than probably anybody, so this is how I'm going to look to counteract it. One thing worth mentioning for the for the Tahm Kench is that the last time Chiefs played this, it was also the Aphelios Tahm Kench. So lots of protection there.
Yep, so Refury did mention in his interview that he is a Veigar enthusiast, so he definitely knows the ultimate counter to that Veigar mid lane. We're going to see Jarvan removed because Jarvan is quite a good engage for Chiefs' comp, so they want to get rid of that. Gragas is also gone because Gragas is a really stable blind pick for Compet right now. Let's see what voice picks. Zeri is gone, Jinx is gone, Caitlyn is also banned. Most likely going to be a Jhin, perhaps. Provide that extra CC just for the Cassidy.
Good question. If you do look at his champion pool so far here for voice, after that it has been some rather unique champions like the Senna and the Samira, and that's going to be the first Kaiser of the split. A lot of conversation, right? We were wondering where would Kaiser fit into the fold of things. We got a chance to speak with Violet. He even mentioned, maybe just a little bit too long for it to scale up with the items you need. You know, we've seen that AP variant with the Crown of the Shattered Queen. You need the Nash's too if you need a few key items, right, to evolve every single ability.
So the reason why Kai'Sa isn't as popular in the meta right now is because of lethal tempo. The ADCs that can use lethal tempo, like the Aphelios and the Jinx, outrange Kai'Sa too much where she can't just walk in and DPS like she used to. And also the Renekton, which is also a really strong blind pick, is picked up by Chiefs. Mammoth always opting into that Ornn for the top lane, which is to be expected. So from these two drafts, we can see that Mammoth have a really strong scaling game. They have the Kassadin and Ornn.
They certainly do, but I'm looking at Chiefs right there, and I'm seeing they've locked in a Zed in the jungle. The first Zed jungle off the split as well, so lots of unique champions coming out here to showcase what they can do. You highlighted Zed, what it would have been for the other team, so what do we make of this for Arthur?
So I've seen Arthur play quite a bit of Zed. Zed isn't as popular as it used to be when the preseason just came out because of the assassin item where you can reduce that cooldown on your ulti. It's quite a niche pick, it's not that popular, but we do see Arthur playing for the strong 2v2 in the mid lane. You already have that CC coming from Tally's Veigar. And you have CC in all lanes. You have the purple gun from the ADC. You have the stun coming out of the Renekton. So this Zed option is actually really good when you want to go for those lane ganks.
Certainly will be for those lane ganks. And I am also spotting that sneaky Crocodile once again in the hands of Tapoon. He's got the Renekton. We've said it already. This is what gave Mammoth absolute nightmares in their last meeting, or whether or not he can look to try and find a similar circumstance this time around to roam mid at level 3 and do that damage all over again. I imagine we're going to be looking a lot of priority towards that mid lane in particular to make sure that Tally is able to manage this Kassadin, would you say?
So when Kassadin gets level 6, this Veigar is going to have a really hard time because you can't cage him, and the main ability for Tally is going to be that cage. It's going to be for that CC. You have 4 melee champions from Mammoth, but looking at the mid 2v2, you see that Fury Kassadin isn't as strong in early game, but do not underestimate Kassadin. You can still get those solo kills if Tally decides to misplay. But let's look at bot lane. So bot lane, we got the Tahm Kench for the Nautilus, which is a good matchup for the Tahm Kench. You can always save the Aphelios, and the Aphelios is just going to be looking to scale while Kai'Sa needs to look for those early kills.
So he does need to look for those early kills, and I'm sure everybody in Twitch chat, get your clocks out because it is time to start counting. Level 1 out of level 16. That is the benchmark, that is the goal, and that is what you're hoping for if you want to see all those beautiful, beautiful one-shots. All right, let's jump into this game, and let's welcome back Coach Siwayat from the side of Mammoth for some thoughts and feelings loading into this match. How are you, mate?
Hey, yeah, not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, doing well, doing well. Super Week is here. It's our extra day, so always exciting in that regard. We were talking on a desk before about how tough of a schedule you guys have. So what areas in particular are you focusing on going forward to showcase that these results have not been a fluke?
Yeah, so obviously our lineup is very front-loaded. We have what's perceived as easier games towards the back end. So it's just using the first half, as well as practice, obviously, to just get some consistency into our game. We've shown on the main stage that we can play both micro and macro pretty well. It's just about finding that consistency and bringing it both together. We were able to show that pretty well, I would think, in the game against Kanga. We played a pretty complete game. It's just going to be about bringing that consistency week in, week out.
Absolutely, and obviously no bigger test than it is right now. Quick note before we do jump into the action. Thoughts on the Kai'Sa? We haven't seen it at all.
Yeah, so that one's a little bit more of a specialty pick that we do have on voice. It isn't terrible in the meta based on some of the champs that were banned away and what we are playing into. There wasn't as many good scaling ADCs that we could pick, so we felt the Kai'Sa was a good option as well as a few others, but it's something that voice is pretty confident on, so we were happy to give him what he wants.
Absolutely, I love seeing a confident AD carry get to do what he does best. I appreciate your time as always there, Siwayat,
no worries. Thanks, guys.
Good luck for the game.
Cheers, thanks, you too.
So we do see the Veigar actually roll swapping into the Ornn. This Veigar is going to have a free time scaling. Also, obviously, the Veigar is in a losing matchup, so that's going to be a main reason why they swap. Renekton is really strong into the Kassadin. And from these sums, if you picked up that Mammoth's comp is actually really short range. His exhaust can reach anyone. They do have 2 assassins that can jump onto the Aphelios with the Nocturne, and Kai'Sa is really short range considering she's an ADC. We do see Tapoon rotating to this Grom.
Yeah, he's being very aggressive. That is the classic Tapoon play. Level 3 is there. He's going to swing the axe around once more. And he's going to get a whole bunch of health. He's having to peel out for the meantime. Draku waiting for that grey health. Don't forget his fix can evolve just yet. Very low underneath this turret. The bot lane of Mammoth feeling the pain and pressure, and minion wave up against them as well. And Chiefs just might look to walk on by as the Draku hook lands. And Rocco will fall on down to double kill for Voice here. The best possible start for a Kai'Sa.
Wow, well, you would never want to give a reset to the Viego because from what we saw from Kevy last night, Viego's just become unstoppable once you give that reset. And from that dive, as we can see, that Tapoon rotates first, Draku W's over, I believe, and they actually play further into Mammoth's lane where they play past the minion wave, 1 HP flashing away. They're not sure if they want to go for it, but they did commit to it, and it seems like the communication wasn't doing that well because no one was properly tanking. Tapoon even flashed in the end because he was just lost. So that was a really bad play coming out of Chiefs.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of an overforce, didn't it? Very early on, look at the Transsail. We've got this advantage, we've got the high ground, a moment to strike, but a moment that has certainly backfired very early on. The gold won't change at all, still dead even, but it has afforded a lot of life towards Voice, which is, yeah, one of only a handful of AD carries right now that is opting for the Halo Blades, as you touched on before.
I wonder if Chiefs is under the stress of the Kassadin Ornn because they do have a late game win con.
Oh, they've actually hit the stun. Draku's in the area as well to put a lot of punishment with his own passive. That's going to zone away the Cass.
And this is why Tahm Kench is such a popular support pick right now. His, I believe that's a W. Please correct me if I'm wrong. His W, the cooldown is really short when he jumps into, like, for these long lanes for the Tahm Kench, you can actually gank whenever you want once you level up that spell. And especially you've seen from mid, once you land that spell onto the Kassadin, you're just gonna guarantee the Q and he's gonna be stunned, and you have to burn something in terms for that gank.
Yes, definitely a high impact. Has a bit of a long cooldown, maybe similar to the silence from the Soraka, but regardless, its impact can be for sure felt. They're gonna run it back bot side, Ray's in trouble, he just needs to run. The Gravitum is there. He wanted to turn around and get that kill, but Tapoon will sweep things up for a double.
Tapoon is honestly playing the role of the jungler here. He's getting bot twice at 5 minutes with 3 kills coming into his pockets against this Kassadin. This Kassadin's crying.
He is crying. Really wishes he was going into Tally at this stage, but it's not going to be the case. It's going to be the battle of the scaling. Top side is Tron the Pom. He'll be farming his grass stacks and be telling the rest of his team, don't worry, the Fimbulwinter is on its way. Those ornaments about 15 minutes away. We need to reach that point of the game right now because Chiefs are showcasing their class on this map.
You know, Chiefs is actually scaling really comfortably, especially with the Veigar going up against this Ornn. The Ornn has no kill threat on this Veigar. However, if you switch it around for the Kassadin, this Kassadin is under constant pressure from this Tahm Kench and Zed. With the Renekton picking up 3 kills, he just can't ult in. It's really dangerous, and look at where Tally is.
Yeah, Tally on the flank, they're looking for a collapse. Isn't opting for the Predator, given he is playing top lane, has gone for the Electrocute instead, but is still just going to walk into lane. That means they can claim that first plate for free. Arthur also doing a little bit of counter jungling there. Blast Cone gets used, it won't take him into the Baron Pit, but they can use the Orb to keep tabs where Mammoth exactly are.
The Rift Herald is spawning in 1 minute. We do see Chief securing the Scuttle Crab. Nautilus is roaming up while Kai'Sa is being pushed under her tower. So Tahm Kench is going to look to dive this Kai'Sa, I believe. Oh, maybe go for a reset for this Herald play.
Yeah, it's a bit ugly at the bottom lane at the moment, right? I mean, given the fact that Voice did get that double kill, which is fantastic in its own, he is still feeling a lot of punishment in the laning phase, down about 20 CS as it stands right now. You are starting to see, you know, those leads being found across the board for the roster of Chiefs.
This is where the short-range ADC comes to play, where Kai'Sa isn't meta right now because you're just gonna get lane bullied by the Aphelios, by the Jinx, you're gonna get outranged, and you just can't reach those minions like you want on a more long-range ADC. We do see all the teams going up to this Rift Herald. Nautilus is actually still bot lane, so Chiefs have number advantage for this Herald. Raze nearly has flash up, so he can avoid the death if Nautilus does decide to dive the ADC in bot lane.
Let's see what the play is though. So Talia is going to TP back top side as Tapoon rotates from mid into the waning arms of Arthur to continue their play, which is grab that Herald and break open the base. They continue to be the team for claiming the most plates per game. This dive goes in one more time, but this time Mammoth will not be called out. Moonlight Vigil comes across. That's a lot of chakrams right now. Rage just needs to be close range. They're running away. Draco will land a slow, and that's enough to be respected with a flash.
Mayfan's coming. But Falling has double flash.
He's got a flash. He's going to have a stun. Rocket might just die before the play even begins. Rocker's in a whole bunch of trouble. He's managed to peel away. Aftershock comes in clutch. Mayfan now secures one. They've removed Raze from the equation. Can Draco find a second? He can.
I like to think that if Draco used his exhaust during that trade, Raze didn't need to die. But 1-for-1 trade, burning both sums from the ADC is actually more worth for Mammoth, because they are going to try and contest for this dragon with the ADC's sums being down for the time being.
Yes, in the meantime, back we go though. It could be a bit of a trap. Draco's jumping in, he's not level 6, he's just gonna get decimated. Arthur says, well, here's the death mark. And then Re-Theory says, but you're the one dying.
What's with Chiefs and diving this bot tower today? There was 4 people there. I think there was 3 showing from Mammoth, and Chiefs just were like, nah, screw it, we're gonna dive you again. And Kasten actually picked up a kill from that, so that's really worth for Mammoth's side. And Arthur got 1 plate, 1 kill, but he still died, giving priority to this dragon for Mammoth.
I'm going to be pretty content with the pacing of the game, right? Given the fact that we are talking about a few champions that do need time to come online. A couple of items, a couple of levels. Be 10 minutes into this game and only down 1,000 gold, a huge win.
And just bringing up for this dragon fight, the ADC is flashless, so it's going to be really hard for this ADC to actually dodge the CC coming out of Mammoth, especially the Nautilus hook. Maybe the Tahm Kench does have ulti, so it's not going to be that tragic, but we do see everyone hovering Tapoon here.
And now looks at Tapoon, who's in a whole world of trouble right now, going to get collapsed from every single side. Pops the Dominus into the waiting arms of Draco, who hits the Devour, which now we know was a bit of an overkill, but rightfully so, safety first.
So that's Tahm Kench ult down for this dragon fight. I don't even know if they're going to contest for it because Viego is hovering this Kassadin topside for now. But this ADC is currently no Tahm Kench ult and no flash. It's going to be really dangerous for Raze.
Both teams just aren't interested in the dragon. It's taken 11 minutes before the first one gets claimed. That's the Cloud Drake gone.
I'm surprised that Chiefs actually picked up that dragon instead of Mammoth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, they're going for it again.
They're obsessed. It feels personal at this point.
It's the heat. I'm telling you, it's the heat.
New house.
It got to my
hot.
camera. It got to Chiefs. It's gonna get to everyone.
Must do. Must do. Well, it's perfectly primed though. That is a fantastic Herald summon. 2 plates gone. And a headbutt charge that guarantees the turret. The first of the game is gone as well. Re-Theory going to look to do whatever he can. The cannon wave. 1 plate goes his way as Mayfan having ideas as to where Arthur is going to do a little bit of counter jungling.
We do have Raze picking up the 5th place in bot lane while Tally is still free scaling in that top. If Mayfan doesn't look for a kill here, then that bot tower just died for free.
Looks like we got a second headbutt charge off though, so it's insane value if they are looking to try and then flip the lanes around for the next Herald summon and ensure that Raze gets as many plates that remain in this next 2-minute window. That seems to be the plan right now with them palving topside.
Aphelios has picked up the Gale Force, but can we talk about the first item collector on the Kai'Sa?
Absolutely. Seems a bit bizarre, doesn't it?
It is really bizarre, but if you look at Chiefs' comp, they're not actually squishy. What? The Aphelios will have a Tahm Kench shield most likely. The Zed's gonna just pop in and pop out. You're not gonna, unless you one-shot the Zed, it's gonna be really hard applying this collector because Tally's gonna be building health, Tupoon's gonna be building defense, and Tahm Kench is Tahm Kench. So this collector is actually quite puzzling for me to understand.
Yeah, at least from this patch and what we've seen around the world so far, it has been a Kraken Slayer rush.
Yep.
Also return back to the glory, and that would give you the true damage, the shred you'd need to go into some of these tanky targets, right?
So we do see the ADC going top lane for those extra plates in top.
Nothing is free, say Chiefs, as they literally bully them away from their own jungle. Red buff is not yours. Mayfun's in trouble. A flash forward there from Rocket to land the hook, make sure that they can try and find this killer's voice. Picks it up. Arthur's gone. 2 kills so far. Picked up by the side of Mammoth as Mayfun, no longer interested in being a Viego, turns into Tahm Kench himself. The cage goes down. That is Event Horizon. We learned that today. Shut down. Mayfun is massive. Now he's 3-1. Tally going to jump across the wall with that blast gun, but realized, hey, they had a little bit too much mobility, but Mayfun dies, and Tally might still, with his little yodel legs, manage to walk away from this fight, unless somehow, Voice snipes him. He's not going to go for the no-scope. Lots of low members there, Kitty.
Yeah, during that fight at Red Buff, Chiefs keep fighting with a number disadvantage. I actually don't understand why Arthur decided to engage on that. Obviously, they did burn the Cassid and TP from that. But if you see from this, Mayfun actually didn't die. So Zed kind of ulted in and just died for free, and Tahm Kench dies with the captain for the ship, while the Aphelios was still taking the top plates. So this was a really hard fight. Maybe from last night they were like, oh, you know, Tally's on the Vega, his cage is just going to win us the fight, but not in this case in particular. They were not fighting with the Aphelios, who has eaten the 10 plates.
Yeah, he is absolutely massive. I'm sure when we next get a chance to check in with those gold graphs. There it is. Thank you very much, observers. Reading our mind. Look how much gold he has. All the gold from farming, from plates. And this is going to be a very, very accelerated affiliate. It's almost like he wants to run things back from last night.
Yet they are securing the second Rift Tower, while the Cassidy is just farming on the side lane. He does want to get to level 16 as quick as possible with that solo XP, but Dragon is spawning in 1 minute, and I believe the ADC will have flash for this fight. So we do see Tupoon playing towards this bot, and the ADC has rotated mid. They want that lane party for the Dragon, which is coming up very soon. Yes, the ADC does have flash, and Tupoon has his flash very, very soon. This flash on the Renekton is going to be very important for Chiefs. It's going to be probably the main engage coming out of Chiefs when you look for this Dragon fight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's nothing better, right, than from Fog of War, Renekton, just slice, dice, flash appearing on your head, and it's just not what you can do. You will just get one shot and a cycle of cooldowns from that. If not, you've got plenty of diving threats that Chiefs have in their arsenal. I'm sure that kill target is dealt with. 15 seconds, and that second Dragon will be up and available, but not before Chiefs summon a Herald to remove another turret. That means first 3 turrets go their way.
They do take down 2 towers in mid.
That's huge value.
So Mammoth want to avoid as much fighting.
Oh, hang on a minute. Ray's in a whole bunch of trouble. Devour is OP. Oh, the Abyssal Dive gets cancelled. R2 there from Call of the Forge God. Nearly was clutch. Nearly was clutch. Tupoon flashing forward. There they go. The target is voiced. The death mark is there. The kill is secured. And the Chiefs find it. Oh, a little bit angsty there for a second. But they come back and it is perfect.
Skimmy, I was about to say Mammoth should avoid fighting because you do want this Cassidy to scale, but Roku just goes for the hook on the Aphelios. And shout out to Draku, that flash eat was MVP play worthy. This Cassidy is just like, what's happening guys? I'm just trying to scale, but you guys are just force engaging mid lane.
Yeah, it looked like for a second we might be looking to try and break the record of 18 minutes and 36 seconds. Is happening again. This time there is no Devour. The stun goes out and a shutdown gets picked up by Cassidy of all people. Can he find his second? No, Mayfun will secure that for himself.
They've lost 2 inhibitors, but they've found 2 kills.
I don't know, Simi. This game, the heat's just getting to everyone. I don't know what's happening. It's fighting, just random fights going everywhere while we have a Kassadin and Ornn coming out of Mammoth. It's just... So we do have the replay. We see Dracu flash eating the Aphelios. Really good play from Dracu. But Kassadin is still farming in that top lane. So this is currently a 4v5, which is doomed from the beginning. And we just see Rocco walking out while the other 3 get cleaned up.
No doubt would have been thinking it's an easy pick. It's an isolated Aphelios with a big bounty for us to claim. We don't need to overcommit to this one, but ultimately, Chief's turn.
Yep, and this Aphelios is quite untouchable with his Tahm Kench buddy on the side. Props to Dracu, you know. He knows the job that has to be done. We do see Refury just constantly playing on the opposite side of the map, so all Mammoth have to do is protect as many towers as they can to let this Kassadin scale to level 16.
Yeah. As well as protecting, they need to try and claim as many as they want. They're down 5,000 gold, and it might just get a little bit bigger as Tally just sends Tron the Bomb into the night to claim a double kill at just that. Stat check. I'm not sure how many stacks we have in this Veigar, but I tell you what, it's already adding up. 133, there you go, thank you very much there to the observers. 500 AP is nearly there at only 19 minutes into this game. Chiefs are working their way towards that 3rd and final inhibitor, with timers working well in their favor. They're going to respawn by the time the 3rd Drake comes up. I don't know if we're going to be having a game that goes towards a solo point. The hook goes out, but it gets cancelled by the Event Horizon one more time. This might be the final fight of the game as the Poon rips through the ranks, takes down one, but not before Voice answers back. Refury now a level 13 Kassadin, going to find a kill on towards the Crocodile. And, well, the Void family between Kassadin and Kaiser get it done.
You know, if you look at League of Legends lore, Kassadin is the dad of Kaiser, so we do have that Void synergy going on. So if we look at this fight again, we actually see the cage stopping the Nautilus hook, which is really good for the side of Chiefs. But Tron the Palm is in the back ulting. He gets a 3-man ult, I believe. And this Viego is just popping off with his passive. He's just getting reset every single fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's as easy as that. You know, even you're shell-shocked by how good it is.
I'm shocked.
He's 4-3-6. He's putting in a whole host of work, but it is also worth mentioning that Refury, having been separated from the team, the cost has been high. Their base does no longer exist, but he is the highest level in the game and by a big, big margin.
They are going to start the Baron here because they do have 3 inhibs down from the side of Mammoth. And although I feel like his guns aren't really good, they just can't face check it. They have no vision, and they can't afford the minions pushing into their base because with this Baron buff, and if the waves build, it's just going to be really hard to fight off the minions.
Yeah, look at those minion waves as it stands right now. The side lanes are crashing, the mid lane's soon to be in an advantageous situation as well, and it just feels like you are praying as a Mammoth fan, as a Mammoth player in this game in particular. Give us 5 more minutes. We just need a little bit more time.
Kassadin is level 14 right now.
He jumps in, he's gone golden nice and early. He needs backup from the rest of his team. Where can they find it? They can't. Tally just hits him with the ult button. You're outplayed and you're gone. Now the fight still working in Chiefs' favor as Rage has already got a double. Make it a triple. There is the ace. It won't be perfect because Dracu died, but he won't mind because they got the result. 21 minutes and 30 seconds in. Chiefs claim the rematch with a win.
Honestly, this game wasn't the best from Chiefs because they did have 2 failed dives coming out of that bot lane. But it was still a 21-minute game because of how accelerated the game was for a Kassadin and Ornn draft. So props to them, but we could see them do better.
Certainly could. You obviously you hold them to a higher standards. We know what they can do. Their stats speak for themselves. Mr. Consistent. They've done it time and time again. Oh, hello, Mac.
Oh, how you doing? Yeah.
Oh, hi.
I'm actually, Kitty. No, we actually sent Kitty into the Matrix, so she's still
yes.
here with us. Kitty, just let everyone
I'm
know
still
you're
here. I'm still here, guys. I'm just off the desk.
You just look around.
Yes.
Where?
We're just trying to figure out exactly where she is in the ones and the zeros. You know how it be. But of course, it is. That was a great game. That was a great game to watch.
Yeah.
You know, Mammoth, they definitely tried to keep it up with Chiefs. But unfortunately, look, they got a lot of kills. That's great. Look, a lot of stacks on the rune pages and whatnot, and a lot of good teamwork. But then also some things that didn't go as expected. Like this one in particular, look, no vision in the river. All of a sudden, you got Tapoon coming in, picking up that double, which could have gone the other way. Look, if Raze died there, then maybe he wouldn't have ran away with the game like he did. Man got 8 plates, and that makes him a very fat ADC at a very early point of the game. Double charge at mid, just opening things up, and then the fight. The funny part about this fight in particular is Kitty said, Mammoth are definitely not going to be looking to fight, or they don't want to fight here. And then as soon as you said that, they're just jumping on Raze because they thought he was isolated enough to get the
speechless.
It was, yeah, it was something. It was something, wasn't it?
It was something. Well, I'm still, you know, happy for the boys that they picked up this win, because Kasten is not the best compared game, especially when you're versing a good team like the Chiefs. They know how to accelerate the game with these plays constantly, but in these instances, it seems that Mammoth were the ones engaging, so might be a little something to WOD review back on. But congrats to the Chiefs. Really
now,
cool game.
I need to ask as well. So, you know, support-wise, Drag, who was running around, you were saying how he was trying to have some influence. There were a few times where he was playing pretty safe, you know, dropping that ult before a Drake, and then also towards the end, he didn't quite get away with what's the one where he goes underwater? Or
the Abyssal Dive.
The Abyssal Dive. Yeah, he used the Abyssal Dive, and that got cancelled, which could have been dangerous, but unfortunately for Mammoth, they still didn't get away with it with the kills. So, you know, at that point, Chiefs are just too fat. And even though in terms of the kills, it was very even towards the end of the game, we're looking at still like an 8k, 9k gold diff there. And also, production has let us know that is the second fastest game this split. So you mentioned it, you thought Chiefs could have potentially ended that a little bit earlier, but it would have been very dangerous if they went for it, right?
Look, it's like 17 minutes in, they're taking down 2 inhibitors, and I'm thinking, in the back of their mind, are they thinking, we're conscious of that record, we want to beat it, because that's a very hard record to beat. But look, for them it was like, you know, who cares about their record? All we need is just good practice, good stage performances. We just need to play some textbook League of Legends. That's what they did, right? Triple inhibitors, you got a Baron buff, you win one fight and the game's over.
Well, that's it. Now, someone that definitely breaks records all the time is Draku, so let's bring him in for the post-match interview. Going to be having a chat with the big man. How you doing, Draku?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Can I just quickly, before we jump into this, who's on the screen behind you?
Who's on the screen behind me? That's
Who's that?
Yeah, Mitch, bald Mitch.
Bald Mitch. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I'm
Chicken's
loving the look,
wallpaper.
Destiny, if you're watching in chat. And another little bit of housekeeping as well. So yesterday, Tally was typing up a bloody storm in the background. Can you please let him know to keep it quiet in these interviews? Because I'm here to talk with you or Raze, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Is he there to let him know now?
Tally's he's on the couch. I think he's like on Tinder or something. I'm not sure.
Oh
Just
wow!
don't his girlfriend
He
know.
has a missus, so that's Let's talk about the game. All right, more plates, more dates is what I've written down. Now, I did see you and Raze have been going to the gym together. Did you tell him that? Because he picked up 8 plates that game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Ray's got 8 plates, and he's definitely eating more plates IRL as well. But, yeah, as you said, I'm taking him to the gym. So in 1 month, I'm pretty sure Raze would be the most jacked ADC in the league. Not that hard to do actually, but.
Okay. Is that just because he wants to go to the gym, or are you just trying to build chemistry by doing what you know?
I actually think Quinn has some pretty good genetics, so I want to see how he looks in like 2-3 months at gym. He's very vascular. His arms kind of mogging mine right now, like in terms of like vascularity. So, you know, if he puts some muscles, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be bigger than me.
There you go. Now, I know Tapoon, he's been a little bit shy, so how's he going in the team? I know he had that one bad game the other week, and he's been putting on monster performances every other time, but in terms of like communication and stuff, how's he going?
Jahoon is, I guess he is kind of shy, but he actually like smurfed yesterday because I think he was just like coming up a storm about how he had a really good flank, so he was actually the MVP yesterday, not Raze into the early game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but he saved the game and literally won the game for you guys, so you got to remember that part too. That's pretty important. Now, before we close the interview, I know that you guys, last time I spoke to you, you were about to move up. And I just want to know, how is like the team building going? Like, what exercises are you doing? Are you doing stretches together? Are you watching anime? Are you all going to the gym? I saw you been
Team
dodging bloody
building.
creatures and toads and stuff. Like, are you going for walks together?
Dude, I don't know, man. Queensland is literally like a freaking zoo. Like everywhere I walk, I see like 2 new like different animals. Like every single room I go into, every walk to the gym is like, I don't know, I'm just going to the zoo. But I think today the whole team we went to eat together, like breakfast. But besides that, I think we're doing something tomorrow. I think Jahoon wants to go to the steakhouse and order like $10,000 worth of steak. So see you at the Chiefs.
That's a lot. Man's a fan of red meat. Now, on that note, I think that's a good place to end it. Congrats on the W. For the moment, you guys are now on the top of the leaderboard. So take that dub and hope that Peace lose later on. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I hope Peace lose. I definitely would like to be
Terrible
first
sportsman.
place. I would definitely like to be first place for the remainder of the split. But I just gotta work hard up this today. I didn't play that well. But yeah, I'm glad my team carried me.
Mate, you did all right on the Kench. You can't.
I think I only
bench
had
the
one
Kench.
good
Maybe
one good
if
eat
anyone
when
could,
I
it's probably you.
flashed.
Who was
Exactly.
ducking in the background?
That was Jahoon.
Who?
Jahoon, you wanna say hi? But you ducked, so now they want you to say hi. Like you did like a duck. So come say hi. Come on.
I just want to wave. Just one little wave.
He wants to wave.
Oh, what a legend.
Oh shit.
Anyway, let's end it there,
Okay,
Drake.
well-
I'm gonna say bye while you're running around, you bloody maniac. Now let's wrap this one up. And look, have a good weekend.
Okay, you too, Mac.
Love it. Love that, man. Now, always good to chat. That was fun. This is the thing about these areas with all players in them. You know, the player houses. It's good to see. And then Tapoon really didn't want to be on camera. He's ducking through the background. Everyone else, any normal person, is just walking. And he's like, oh, I'm shy. I'm out of here. I'm dipping.
That's like, you know what it reminds me of? When you're younger and like your parents invite like family friends over, and then you're hiding in your room playing your games, doing your thing, right? Like, oh, calm down, say hello, don't be rude. And you're just like, oh, I really don't want to, right? It felt very similar vibes going on.
Just walks in, just goes, hey, and that's it. Now, someone
Grab
else
some
that
food,
said
off you
hey today, of course, was the big man in the mid lane. It was Tally, and he is the player of the game, doing work, and being very damn suppressive as well. 6-1-6 and 70% KP. It's good numbers there. Now, Kitty, I did kind of forget that you were with us, but tell me, what do these numbers mean, and why did Tally get this lovely award?
So we do see Tally on the Veigar again, that cage, putting in work, giving him a 70% KP on that Veigar. 6-1-6, 1 death going into the Ornn lane, which is to be expected. 10 wards placed. He's kind of like a utility / support. He has so many wards placed for a solo lane. I'm quite surprised myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Veigar pick for Chiefs seems to be the goal to success. I mean, the key to success, sorry, yep.
Yeah, Vance, he had money, right?
The funniest part for me is Kitty was asking, like, oh, do you commonly see, like, role swaps happen in, like, competitive league? And then we literally just see it happen here, right? Like, Tally's like, back to top lane I go.
Yeah.
It's no longer top hoon, it's mid hoon, right? They're flexing it around, and it just shows that, they've got so many tricks up their sleeve. The players have played this game for such a long time at the highest level that they can do it all.
Yeah, just be in the position where you can succeed, and that's exactly what Chiefs are going to do. If you can, why not? Now, let's have a quick chat about you guys following us on socials, right? So you sometimes you do it, sometimes you hit that follow button, and we want you to do it that little bit more. So you go on over to the Twitter at LCO and join the conversation. We need memes because we've got from the fans, and I've got no content here, so I'm going to have to start making memes myself, and it's not going to be fun. But look, I'll do it. I'll do it for the content. I'll do it for the LCO because I'm passionate like that. And if you're passionate too, go follow the Twitter because that's where all the action happens. But of course, we got to get into Game 2. And during the break, of course, look, the second game is pretty important, but something that's more important is getting Kitty out of the Matrix. So hopefully she'll be back with us on the desk, but we'll see how that goes. It is, of course, going to be a banger match, second of the day, Order and Gravitas going head-to-head. Let's see how it goes.
Definitely a high impact. Has a bit of a long cooldown, maybe similar to the silence from the Soraka, but regardless, his impact can be for sure felt. They're going to run it back bot side. Ray's in trouble. He just needs to run. The Gravitum is there. wanted to turn around and get that kill, but
14 right now.
he's jumped in, he's gone golden nice and early. He needs backup from the rest of his team. Where can they